Turbo Conquering Mega Eagle! Oops. Alright folks, let's make a paper briquette machine maker. A paper briquette making machine.
To allow the Carolines to hunt destroyers with their forward weapons and to take on attacking enemy cruisers that might well be larger than it if they had to run away. The armament would subsequently be modified, as would the ship's mission role, through the Calliope, Cambrian, Centaur, Caledon series.
Right then folks, the squisheroo, the old paper squeeze is done. So the idea is I'll shovel the mush into here, hold this lever shut, press my briquette, pull this one back up again, and then drop the brick out like that. I might have to give it a bit of a flick or something here. To make the pulp, I've had some paper sat outside in buckets. It hasn't actually been raining, which is quite a surprise around here, this time of year especially. But I did put some water in the buckets. Unfortunately, the buckets had holes in them, so it's got damp and kind of half dried out a bit. So it's not as damp as I would have liked. It's probably best to do this with damper paper, but we'll have a go anyway. I made the Whisk-O-Matic. Funny enough, this was actually an old plaster mix which had fallen apart in a previous experiment. So I just welded some bits of 8mm round on that, and we'll stick this in the drill and try and blenderise the soggy paper a bit and cardboard and all that, and then throw it in the briquette machine and see what happens. All right. Okay, I've got a good bucket of pulp here now. The Whisk-O-Roo worked quite well, but it worked much better on the damp paper, so the drier stuff I've left to one side, and I'll certainly in future, if this works, I'll make sure all my paper's wet before I start whisking it, because the wet stuff really pulped up quite nice and quickly. But we'll throw it in here and see what happens. Yeah, I am a bit gappy on this. Hopefully it doesn't matter. I was going to try and build the whole lot out of scrap, so I didn't pay particular attention to anything. So I thought, you know, what's the point in making it really nice? It's just going to be used for squeezing damp paper. But then I ended up using newer metal on the build, and that kind of always makes me wish I'd done a better job. Right. Oh dear. I haven't done a good job of blending this right down to the bottom. There's still, there's plastic and all sorts in here. Yeah, hang on, I'll just give this another whisk. There we go. What does that remind you of, lads? Hey? Filthy minds, filthy minds. Okay, let's give this a go. Well, no, see, I need to give it a bigger squeeze. I need more squeeze. Yeah. Well, that was the first try, and it hasn't really worked very well. Let me have a little think about this, and we'll So I've got a lot of plastic in there, but it's floppy. It's not. I've not got enough water out. I'll have another crack at it, and we'll see what happens. Eh? Right. Okay, we've had a major redesign and a bit of a rebuild. Right, let me show you what's going on here. Change the angle of the handle just to suit the new setup. Okay, so I've got a much smaller cylinder now. Yeah, there's obviously a maximum amount of weight I can put on my bar. My bar's already quite long. It's probably about 3 foot coming out to here. 2.5 foot maybe, 3 foot, whatever. And so I'm now using a 4x4 cylinder, and my bricks are coming out quite nicely now. Rather than a hinge forward designed to release the brick, we've got a trapdoor there, and the plunger just pushes the brick out the bottom when it's done. It's working quite nicely. Because I've used heavy steel, rather than that perforated steel, I don't think I've quite got enough, or as big enough holes in there as I need, so I might drill a few more, but I'll just show you what's going on with the bricks anyway. Just throw some more of this sloppy old muck in there. Lovely. God, I'm enjoying this too much. What's wrong with me, folks? Hey, what's wrong with me? Yeah. Stop it, James. Stop it. Stop sticking your fingers in that horrible, lovely, mushy. No, stop it. Stop it. Put the cameras on. At least wait until the camera's turned off before you start pleasuring damp paper. Anyway, when it goes in like that, the angles are a little bit tight here. If I'd started from scratch like this, it probably would have come out a little bit better, but here we go. Yeah, you'll be able to see what I mean about these holes not being big enough, because when it obviously builds up a bit of pressure, then decides to unblock a bit of paper and has a bit of a squirt. Quite funny, really. Yeah, I need to drill some more holes. Come on, you bastard! I might drill some more holes now, you know, or enlarge the ones that I've got there. So I've only done 6mm holes at the minute. Let me drill them out a bit bigger. Get in there. Bottom fell off. I had to do a weld on it and it's still roasty toasty. So, let's try it again. Let's try it again. Thing is, I know the kids would enjoy doing this, and it'd be nice to give it to them as a little chore, but like this, there's no way it's got to wait, is it? There's no way they'd be able to do this. So I think the Mark II has to be child friendly, you know, with a lever many times longer so they can just jump onto it. Okay, that must be done now. Let's have a look at this brick. Ah, there we go. Okay. So, there we go. There's my brick. They're getting pretty hard now. Look, I just about poke my finger into the top of it. I can still break it apart with my hands, but it's nice and dry inside, isn't it? I've got no idea what this is going to weigh once all the water's out of it, but certainly as good as I'm going to get it at the minute without putting a lot more effort into this machine, I suppose. I might drill a few more holes, but there we have it. So I've probably got some tips, some bits of bobs that I've learned. If you're considering building your own paper briquette press machine for use as firewood and that, like realistically, the smaller you go with your bricks, the more chance you got of making better quality bricks. What I think you need as much piles as possible, as many piles as possible for the water to escape, but at the same time you've got to be very mindful of the fact that they're going to become anchor points for your brick when you try and get it out of the when you try and get it out of the cylinder, I suppose. So the perforated steel, that just the paper just squeezed into perforated steel and became wanted to stay there, and ended up falling apart when I tried taking it out. So I think there's a happy medium. At the minute I've probably got about 24 holes around the bottom of that cylinder, that 4x4 cylinder. Probably could do with a little bit more. They're 1/4 inch holes, although they're 8mm holes on the bottom. Probably do it a little bit more, but I think again too much, and the brick's going to want to stay there, isn't it? And then it's going to fall apart when I ram it out. But this design I like. Seems to be fairly easy to use. I know there's a few people that have done it a few different ways out there, but yeah, I like this. Anyway, I'm gonna make a load of bricks, try and turn as much of my waste paper as I can, waste cardboard and paper packaging and that into bricks throughout the year, and then when they've had a chance to dry out nicely, I'll start burning them next winter. And what if they burn nicely and I like it, then I suppose we'll have a look at making a fully automated fully automated briquette machine. All right, that's it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give us a like. Make sure you give us a like, because weird things are happening with the views at the minute. I know everyone's saying it in the videos because it's what's happening, isn't it? Anyway, all right, take care, folks. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.